Have you ever noticed how your life feels like a broken record? The same heartbreak, the same disappointments, the same struggles, just with different people, different circumstances, but the same sinking feeling in your chest. It's almost like you're trapped in a script you didn't write, repeating lines you don't remember choosing. You tell yourself, this time will be different. You try harder, you say your affirmations, you force yourself to think positive thoughts. But nothing changes. Why? Why does the universe keep giving you the same painful experiences when all you want is peace, love, and abundance? The truth is, you're not attracting what you want. You're attracting what you expect. And most of those expectations, you don't even realize you have. It doesn't matter what you want. Your reality will always reflect what you assume to be true. And the most deceptive thing about assumptions is that they don't announce themselves. They don't feel like deliberate choices. They feel like facts. You don't wake up one day and consciously decide that love is fleeting, that money is elusive, or that happiness is temporary. These beliefs settle into you like a slow, creeping fog, formed over years of experiences, reinforced by memories, and cemented by emotions so familiar that they feel like home. Every rejection, every disappointment, every moment of pain subtly imprints itself onto your subconscious, whispering, "See, this is how life works." If love was once taken from you, your mind records it as a pattern, preparing you to expect it again. If you've struggled financially in the past, your subconscious clings to the idea that struggle is your natural state. And because your mind seeks consistency, it will shape your reality to align with these deeply embedded truths. So even when something good enters your life, an amazing partner, an unexpected windfall, a rare moment of pure joy, if it contradicts the core assumptions you hold about yourself and the world, your subconscious will resist it. Not because it wants to hurt you, but because it believes it is protecting you. It is keeping you in the familiar, in the known, even if that known reality is one of scarcity, loneliness, or struggle. This is why people sabotage their own happiness without realizing it. It's why someone raised in chaos might feel uneasy in peace. It's why a person who grew up feeling unseen might unconsciously choose partners who overlook them. It's why someone who believes they must work tirelessly for every penny will push away effortless abundance. Your beliefs set the stage, your assumptions write the script, and your subconscious ensures that the play unfolds exactly as expected. And until you change what you believe, deeply, at the level where those whispers live, nothing outside of you will truly change. They try to build a new life on the foundation of an old self-concept. And then they wonder why nothing sticks. Because no matter how many affirmations you say, no matter how detailed your vision board, no matter how perfectly you script your desires, if your subconscious mind is wired for struggle, it will find a way to create it. This is why people experience cycles, why they leave one toxic relationship only to end up in another, why they lose weight only to gain it back, why they finally get the job or the money they wanted only to sabotage it or feel like it isn't enough. It's not that they aren't trying hard enough. It's not that they aren't deserving. It's that their subconscious programming is stronger than their conscious intentions. The subconscious mind isn't concerned with what makes you happy, it's concerned with what feels familiar. And if suffering, lack, or disappointment are familiar, that is what it will guide you toward, again and again. This is why certain people seem to attract love effortlessly while others struggle. Why some people can't seem to break out of financial hardship no matter how much they earn. Why some people always feel like they're on the outside looking in, watching others live the life they wish they had. It isn't luck, and it isn't fate, it's conditioning. The nervous system is trained through repetition, and the mind clings to the patterns it has known the longest. So when you try to change your life without changing your internal identity, your subconscious resists. It finds ways to pull you back. Maybe it's through procrastination. Maybe it's through self-doubt. Maybe it's through creating problems where none exist. But one way or another, if you don't believe you are the kind of person who thrives, who is loved, who is wealthy, who is happy, it won't matter what you consciously desire. You will act in ways that confirm your existing identity, even when you don't realize you're doing it. This is where most people get stuck, trapped in a cycle of trying and failing, wanting and waiting, hoping and hurting. They change their actions but not their assumptions. They rewrite their goals but not their self-image. They chase new outcomes without changing the internal patterns that led them to the old ones. And the results? The same pain, dressed in different circumstances. The same struggles, disguised as new opportunities. The same patterns, repeating like a script that never gets rewritten. Until you change who you believe you are at your core, nothing outside of you will truly change. And when that moment happens, it won't feel like a battle. It'll feel like coming home. Because true transformation isn't about fighting yourself. It's not about wrestling your mind into submission or forcing yourself to think positively every second of the day. It's about seeing, really seeing, the truth that has always been there, that you were never trapped, only convinced that you were. That the door was never locked, only closed by an old version of you who didn't know they could open it. The moment you realize this, something shifts. The struggle starts to dissolve, not because life suddenly becomes effortless overnight, but because you stop resisting yourself. You stop trying to build a new reality while still believing in the old one. You stop seeking love while believing you're unworthy of it. You stop chasing success while secretly assuming it will come at a cost. Instead, you begin to trust, slowly at first, then fully, that something different is possible for you. And the beautiful thing about belief, it doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be consistent. A quiet, gentle willingness to see yourself differently. A small, steady decision to choose a new thought when the old one tries to creep back in. A shift so subtle at first that you might not even notice it, until one day, you wake up and realize you are no longer reacting the way you used to. You are no longer waiting for the other shoe to drop. You are no longer expecting disappointment. And that's when everything changes. Because life doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to who you are being. And when you start being the person who is open to love, love finds you. When you start being the person who believes money can come easily, opportunities appear. When you start being the person who trusts in their own worth, the world reflects that back to you. It doesn't mean you'll never face challenges. It doesn't mean old fears won't try to whisper in your ear. But when they do, you'll recognize them for what they are, just echoes of a past self, a self that no longer defines you. And instead of falling back into old patterns, you'll choose differently. Not because you're forcing yourself to, but because you genuinely see the world in a new way. And that's what it feels like to come home. To return to the version of you that was never broken. To realize that you were never lost, only remembering your way back to yourself. So tell me, are you ready to wake up? Because that's all it takes. Not another technique. Not another manifestation ritual. Not another desperate attempt to force reality into submission. Just a decision, a quiet, unwavering decision, to see yourself differently. To stop searching for proof that you are stuck and start gathering evidence that you are free. And the moment you do, life responds. Not because something outside of you changed, but because you did. Because the mirror of your reality can only reflect what you hold to be true. Maybe you've spent years believing you had to fight for love. That happiness was something fleeting. That money was always just out of reach. But what if, for the first time, you chose to believe something new? What if you let go of the story that life has to be hard? That you are not enough? That your past determines your future? Because the second you do, everything starts shifting. The same way the sun rises whether you believe in it or not, your new reality begins forming the moment you decide to see it. And no, it won't be instant. Your mind might try to pull you back. Old fears might whisper, trying to convince you that nothing has changed. But here's the truth. The fact that you're even questioning your old beliefs is proof that they no longer have the same power over you. You are already waking up. The only question is, will you choose to fully step into this new version of yourself? Will you let yourself believe, truly believe, that you were never trapped to begin with? If this spoke to you, if something inside you just shifted even slightly, I want you to declare it. Drop a comment below and say, I am ready. Because sometimes, all it takes to solidify a new belief is to put it into words. And the moment you do, you begin rewriting your story. So, are you ready? Tell me below.